Well, folks, it's about that time. I got tagged in this one today, and it says, if you could be on any one of these teams, which would it be? The first one out is most definitely the Suicide Squad, because that means I'm in jail damn near doing life in prison. Then I gotta work for somebody even the devil would say, damn you evil. Then the word team is the biggest stretch here because the squad is willing to betray each other at any time. Remember, above all, these guys are all expendable criminals. Then again, I cannot be on a team with the Teen Titans if this is how they live. I can't do it. Bro, you living with somebody who let their fridge get like this? Then as goated as Robin is, I can't have a crash out for a leader. Imagine I have to rein my leader in because he doing too much. Robin be escalating already scuffed situations, and I don't care what villain it is, my leader got one time to threaten me before I leave that team. I don't know if I could do Young Justice either because all this team do is lie to each other. They be lying about serious shit like I grieved at your funeral last week and you still alive type shit. This team is built on hot-headed crash outs. I cannot deal with it. The Justice League may have their problems, but for the most part, they stand united. And when it comes down to taking care of business, there's no team in the DC universe better. All those other teams strive to be like the League because they set the standard. I definitely want to be a part of the Justice League. But folks, it's about that time. Now it's tagging this one today. And it says, what kind of show comes to mind when you see this image? One or some really good animated scenes versus the rest of the show being complete ass. Yeah, that's Ninja Kamui as a whole. Boy, I have never been so hoodwinked in my life when it came down to a show like this. Boy, they baited the hell out of the community with these first few episodes in this trailer. Then they want to gaslight us even more with this brilliant ass fight scene with amazing animation and choreography. Like people, this shit right here was the preview to get us hyped. And they said, oh yeah, now we got them, now to show them what's in the trailer. Boy, these scenes was getting crazy, scary, spooky, and hilarious. Boy, in these earlier fights when He-Gon started turning up, I was excited to see this show every week. Because there wasn't a show out at the time that was throwing hands like this. And then the action was consistent. But then all of that was just a bait for the real show, which is these dumbass mech suits. Which is crazy because they showed that they can full on animate the suits, but then chose to make the rest of the show these whack ass CGI fights. Literal ass. Then Adult Swim had the nerve to put this on their page and title it Best Fights Out of the Show. Please. Even when they got out of the suits, the fight scenes no longer compared. Bro, this was bad. Well, folks, it's about that time. Since Castlevania Nocturne is making a triumphant return in the next few days, I was asked who was the MVP of the original series. See, for me, the undisputed, underrated MVP of the whole series is definitely the captain that spoke to Isaac. See, people, this man did the unthinkable. He saved the entire human race and the world with just one conversation. Isaac was raised as a slave who was beaten maliciously just because he wanted to help his master with his work. All just because he loved him for taking him off the streets. His love was repaid with cruelty. From there on, that's all Isaac experienced was the cruelty of this world. Dracula offered him a new option, wipe out humanity and leave the world nothing but pure. Isaac was devoted to Dracula's mission more than anybody else. Captain reminds him, yes, you could wipe out all of human cruelty, but you'll also be destroying all of human kindness. There will be no more gifts, no more surprises, and no more jokes. And why wouldn't he just teach people how to be kind? Because even something evil can remember things fondly. Even the most wicked things possible can be used for good. Captain saved one man who could save the world. Well, folks, this is about that time, and my man James wants to know, who would win in a fight, Hanayama from Baki or Hammerhead from Marvel? Now, Hammerhead is definitely an interesting choice when it comes down to this fight, because most people don't know that he got upgraded to have an adamantium skeleton for his upper body, upgraded his durability to where Peter broke his hand hitting him, Miles broke his foot kicking him, and even made him strong enough to where he could fight Luke Cage, also being able to tank through explosions from Bombshell. He's strong enough to even headbutt and throw cars. With that being said, I'd still place my bet on Hanayama. Thing is, even with the adamantium skeleton, Hammerhead can still get his ass whooped because he doesn't have a healing factor. He can still get knocked out if hit hard enough. People exploit the fact that his lower half is weaker all the time, like kicking him in the crotch, or just breaking his legs or his hips and the fight's over. Hanayama is strong enough to fight and straight up kill a megalodon. He's strong enough to go up against the caveman Pickle, who's strong enough to wrestle and throw dinosaurs. Also being able to match Yujiro in strength. Yujiro has the strength to stop earthquakes with a punch, has overpowered elephants this size, yet could not overpower Hanayama. I'd definitely say Hanayama. Well, folks, it's about that time, and the absolute GOAT River wants to know, what are my thoughts on Kamen Rider? River, I want to thank you and let you know that you were absolutely loved and appreciated on this channel, and you may have just put me on. See, while I've heard and seen clips about Kamen Rider, I've never really watched this series. It has always looked cool, it's just never been my thing to check out. That's in part because I never really grew up, nor was I a fan of the original Power Ranger series like that. Nothing against Power Rangers, it just wasn't something I was into. But sometimes I would find myself watching clips from it because it just seemed interesting. Plus, a lot of these Rangers had some clean fits. But within researching Kamen Rider, bro, I've loved everything I've seen. What I've seen, Kamen Rider is basically Power Rangers, but much more mature with a disrespect level of 10. Because for the most part, with most of these characters, they're here for the flex. The coolest I've seen so far is definitely Skull. Not only is his suit and his transformation clean as shit, but this man had the nerve to put a fedora back on it. Bro is out here posing like this every time, bro, please. Now fights, forget about it. These visual effects are OD in this show. Definitely want to check out more of Kamen Rider. Well, folks, it's about that time. You guys wanted my thoughts on the new Until Dawn movie trailer, so let's get into it. People, I'm just gonna say it, this is dead on arrival because this is not Until Dawn. How many times do we gotta go through you adapting a video game movie and it be nothing like the goddamn game? You have one job and it's not a hard job. Just give us what was in the damn game. Bro, the story is simple. Teens are trapped in a cabin. Then they get attacked by a deranged serial killer. Then discover there's something even far worse out here, Wendigos. They have to hunker down and make choices to survive all of this until dawn. There is your script. I gotta now add all this extra shit like them getting redos through time travel. They're fighting a new creature every time they do a repeat. For them to go through this over and over again like this is Happy Death Day or something. Yeah, y'all got a Wendigo in one of these nights. But what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Bro, please just call it something else. I wanted a horror anthology movie. Dark Pictures is literally right there. What is so wrong about adapting the source material? You know what the people want. If it flops, it's on you. But folks, it's about that time and the main man Elijah wants to know, do I think DC should have its own hero shooter? I wouldn't mind DC having its own hero shooter. I would just come into it cautiously optimistic. I feel like with most DC games, they have to nerf a lot of these characters into the ground for them to work. Definitely a challenge with making Superman still feel like Superman while also taking away a little bit of his powers to make it fair for somebody else. Hulk, for example, he is one of the strongest characters in Marvel, period. Take Marvel Rivals Hulk, for example, he was one of the worst tanks for a hot minute because he felt weak. Yes, make it fair, but I still want to feel like I'm a god. I just know they're gonna give us Wonder Woman with a damn sword and a shield. I grew up with the Wonder Woman who just blocked bullets with her braces, who only needed the lasso of truth and these flipping hands because I'm trying to suplex somebody. I've yet to see a game ever adapt the fact that Wonder Woman is a wrestler. If Marvel Rivals can work, then DC definitely can. They have plenty of characters to work with in the Justice League alone. Of course, you have teams like the Teen Titans. Of course, Young Justice to work with. Boy, I would be putting people in here like Red Tornado. Definitely believe it would be great, but what do you guys think? Well, folks, it's about that time, and my man Charles wants to know, what universe has the most scuffed power scaling? I think we all can agree that's Dragon Ball Super hands down. I don't care what nobody says. As entertaining as it is, this is yada yada to anime when it comes down to their power system. Imagine you have a show where the more you expand on the power system, the less it makes sense. Imagine introducing the concept of godlike power into your show, which requires a ritual to even achieve. It's prophesied to be so legendary that it can go against one of the strongest gods of destruction as its rival. Yet Krillin, who's ample weaker than this shit, hold his own against it for a few moments. There's no amount of holding back in the world for this. And 17 can literally go blow for blow with this form, can even match its power. This is a character from the second arc of Z. His explanation was fighting Cell Juniors for years, and he's not even stronger than them, and they're nowhere near a god. Crazy how Piccolo had one conversation to get his potential unlocked. Gohan just had to tap into the potential already in him. Now they're stronger than Goku and Vegeta in their strongest forms with no god key. Fighting androids who are just as strong through surveillance, bro, please. Well, folks, it's about that time, and the main man Daniel wants to know, who had a better reboot, RoboCop or Judge Dredd? When it comes down to the RoboCop reboot, I have so many mixed feelings about this movie. This movie is basically, what if RoboCop still had a personality? I do like that they paid homage to his original design, but that new black look was sick. But this reboot felt more like they were trying to copy Iron Man than RoboCop, if you get what I mean. It felt more like a what-if story of somebody became RoboCop nowadays rather than back then. But what kills me about this movie is how much goddamn damage he takes. Boy, we're supposed to be in the future, and you're getting shown up by 1987's tech, because what the hell is this? Boy, if RoboCop ain't just shrugging off bullets, is it really RoboCop? Boy, RoboCop is a straight up tank who's fast enough to catch bullets, and he needs to be as such in every medium. Don't get me wrong, this movie's alright, but it's not doing anything different, it's just writing an IP. But Carl Urban absolutely kills it as Dredd. I actually enjoyed the 2012 movie even more than the first one, because this gave me a more modernized Sin City vibe than anything else. Where Sylvester Stallone felt like the all might of cops, Carl's version of Dredd actually felt like a lethal protector. So when he says he's judge, jury, and executioner, you actually felt that shit, so I'd say this version is better. Well, folks, it's about that time, and the main man Mark wants to know, can Superman morally survive in the boys universe? If Superman were in the boys universe, it would have no choice but to fundamentally change. One of the main reasons why the boys universe is so morally bankrupt is because Homelander is the strongest. The other factor is that Vought isn't creating superheroes to save people, they're using them to sell products. And even in the educational system to raise young heroes, they're not taught to be heroes, they're taught to be number one. Because in this world, optics is the only thing that matters, not them actually being heroes. So they can run rampant and do whatever they want as long as public opinion is still on their side. Or they simply just can't be stopped. Because of how Superman was raised, he cannot be bought by anyone. Superman as a character just inspires hope in everyone who sees him. Because no matter what, Superman would be doing everything in his power to save everyone he can. Then if Vought actually tried to stop him, he would dismantle that entire evil organization. Not to mention the fact that he would dog the hell out of Homelander. And Superman doesn't care about public opinion. He's been slandered in the media before. This is about whether or not he's doing the right thing. Superman inspires people to want to stand up and do better. There are plenty of people who want to be heroes but can't. Superman could save them all. Well, folks, it's about that time. The main man Matthew wants to know, who would win in a fight, the Men in Black or Crypto from Destroy All Humans? It's so hard for me not to underestimate the Men in Black because all their tech is either wildly out of date or impractical. Imagine a seasoned MIB agent gives somebody who's new the noisy cricket and knows exactly how powerful that weapon is and doesn't explain it. This is one of their most powerful weapons and this shit has so much recoil you can barely use it. Then when they do have good weapons, they're easily taken down by a giant roach and have them disarmed. And boy, the only time travel they got has to build up energy from a free fall. And the greatest enemy they had was a blind guy with one arm that shoots spikes. Crypto is surely an alien they would not be prepared for. Not only can he hypnotize and control the masses, but his tech is far beyond anything they've gone up against. Crypto does have a weakness to water, but Crypto is always covered in an energy shield, which is strong enough to take hits from giant monster attacks. And of course, deatomizing attacks from aliens. But Crypto also has telekinesis, can read minds and control machines. He can shapeshift, body snatch, and even take your brain. Crypto has a weapon that can just create black holes. You can't forget about his Big Willie. You know, his giant robot. Yeah, Crypto wins. But folks, it's about that time, and my man Josiah wants to know, what character takes the least amount of skill to use in Marvel Rivals? My honest opinion, that's hands down Mr. Fantastic. This has to be the easiest character you could ever play in Marvel Rivals. This man's whole gimmick is flailing in a direction and then just grabbing you. Not only is this man's grab auto lock, but it gives shields to your allies while damaging your enemies, while also giving you extra shields while still in the fight. And every one of his moves puts you in the beef form. And that big form he takes gives you about 900 health. You are dogging anybody you go up against in a 1v1. Then his stretched out form is a get out of jail free card for everything. Tell me why the first time I ever played Mr. Fantastic in anything, I won a whole Doom match by myself, fighting the entire lobby. These guys were absolutely jumping the hell out of me, but they couldn't take me down to save their lives. Do you have terrible aim? It doesn't matter because you can just drag his arm to attack somebody. Every move gets you to this beefy form. Oh, somebody running from you too much? Just grab him. Honestly, the only time this guy is really all that vulnerable is when he's ulting. And even then, it's still pretty good. This man's a walking tank pretending to be a DPS. It's him. Well, folks, it's about that time. I got tagged in this one today. This says, would you rather for $1 million survive against Dark Seekers or the Foot Clan? Boy, Dark Seekers are a hell nah on wheels. Whether you want to call them zombies or vampires, I don't care. I'm not going up against anything hauling ass like this. Boy, not only are they sprinting, but they're intelligent enough to check where you're hiding. There's a shit ton of them and they all be booking it. Boy, these bastards want to take you out so bad, they're willing to run into explosions. You can have explosives cover the whole street. It's not enough. Boy, if they got a reason to get to you, it is over. Now, it has been confirmed that they do have a measure of intelligence to cooperate given the right circumstance. Ain't nobody thinking about the 1% when 99% of the time that's your ass. I'm pretty sure I can handle the Foot Clan because of one man, Casey Jones. Nothing against Casey Jones, but he is just a dude with a hockey stick. And boy, it don't matter whether these be robots or normal foot soldiers. Casey be handling them. And it's not like he's doing anything crazy, yet still holding his own against advanced robots. And for the most part, is winning with baseball bats and tasers. Even though the Foot Clan has numbers, most of these guys are sorry. You just cannot let them jump you. I'd rather test my luck with them.